mean, I knew I was right. I knew I was going to end up being right. Now, granted, I might be counting my chickens before they are hatched because it's only week 2 of the NFL season. But I knew I was right about Sam Darnold. His whole tenure in New York, you saw flashes of it. I was standing on the mountaintop like, no, Sam Darnold could be very good. He could be a top 10, possibly even top 5 quarterback in the NFL. He just needs to get off the Jets. He needs to get away from the incompetent ownership, GM, coach, lack of talent. Needs to get off that team. And he finally did, and he's now on the Carolina Panthers, and he's got plenty of offensive weapons. Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Dan Arnold had a good day today. Christian McCaffrey might be the biggest offensive weapon in the NFL, probably a favorite to win Offensive Player of the Year, betting-wise. Get him on that talent with a good defense because the Carolina Panthers have a damn good defense. I will come back to that later when it comes to the title of this video, but I just want to talk about Sam Darnold, pat myself on the back. I've heard it for, maybe not years personally, but the last year of being on the internet, that I've heard it from Jets fans and people alike that Sam Darnold just stinks. You know what I mean? He's not good. It's not the Jets. They got rid of him and they have the new toy now, Zach Wilson. He did really well today. He threw 3 interceptions in his first 5 pass attempts, so he's looking very, very good. Yeah, it was just Sam Darnold. It's not just the Jets in general, their lack of talent and just lack of anything. But Sam Darnold has been super efficient through 2 weeks. I definitely didn't throw an interception today. Don't think he threw one last week. Could be wrong on that, but I don't believe so. His completion percentage is probably up close to 70%. He's just, again, he's not out there doing Patrick Mahomes. He's not out there doing Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray type things, Aaron Rodgers type things right now. I think he could get there in that offense with Joe Brady, but he's not doing it right now. He's still new to the offense, but he's playing very efficient, and they are 2-0. And I believe that they are going to be the biggest threat in the NFC South to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, granted, that might be by default. Much like many others, might have thought after the way the Saints came out and bludgeoned my Green Bay Packers last week that might be, and Jameis looked good, and he didn't turn the ball over, and he was very efficient, and he completed 65+% of his passes. Most people probably thought the Saints, including me, might have been the biggest threat, but they looked bad today. Jameis Winston did not look good, and they played the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers absolutely beat down the New Orleans Saints. Jameis Winston looked bad. Alvin Kamara had, I think, less than 10 rushing yards, and granted, they didn't give him the ball much because I think he only touched it 8 times between carries and receptions, so that's not enough. He's your best offensive player with Michael Thomas not coming around and being on the PUP list or the IR or whatever he is. But the Carolina Panthers, that defense is very, very good. Matt Rule coming in from Baylor, last year, no one knew how he was going to be, but he seems to be a player's coach, and very fiery. Liked him at Baylor, like him here. When he came in last year, who'd he bring? Joe Brady. Why do you remember that name? Why? Oh, yeah, when LSU were good, when they were good a couple years ago, and they had Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and they were winning national championships. Who was the offensive coordinator? Joe Brady. So when he made the jump to the NFL, again, last year they had Teddy Bridgewater. You thought maybe, hey, Teddy can really light it up, really get back to where he was getting to with the Minnesota Vikings. Didn't work out. You bring in Sam Darnold, who is probably more talented, in my opinion, is more talented quarterback than Teddy Bridgewater. And now obviously after Teddy went through the injury that he went to a couple years ago, definitely more talented. So now you put him in the Joe Brady system. He's Joe Burrow with probably a stronger arm and maybe a little bit more athletic, or at least the same athleticism. I think he's a little bit more athletic than Joe Burrow. So now he's in with Joe Brady, and early on, again, managing the game, but I think by the end of the year he's got a chance to really be showing out, because physically Sam Darnold is super gifted. And again, this defense is really good. And Sam Darnold's problem in New York, a lot of the times, I mean, some of the time definitely because he made dumb decisions, but a lot of the time not really his fault. A lot of turnovers between fumbles and interceptions because their line stunk, their receivers stunk, everything about that team stunk. So I don't know how you expect someone to be great and really be all that they can be when everyone around him kind of stinks and is subpar. So he has those things. He has time. He has a decent line. He has a very good defense, and he has very good weapons. Again, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Dan Arnold, Christian McCaffrey. Like, you have those weapons. He didn't have that stuff in New York. He has a good offensive coordinator. I mean, hell, Adam Gase was the guy calling plays for him. Adam Gase, I don't know what he's doing right now. I'm pretty sure it's nothing in the NFL. I could be wrong on that, but shit, that guy might be a quarterback's coach again. He was Sam Darnold's head coach, play caller. He was terrible. So, like, it's not even like Sam Darnold had a decent head coach. Like, Sam Darnold probably could have did better under LaFleur and Robert Saleh, but like he had literally possibly the worst head coach in the NFL for a couple of his years in New York in Adam Gase. So you were just literally you had a ball, like you had a cement block on Sam Darnold's leg, and then you tied that to like an 18-wheeler. That's what Adam Gase was to Sam Darnold in New York. So now he's good offensive coordinator, a coach who's probably respected way more than Adam Gase ever was by the players, and again, weapons and a defense. Brings me to the title of this video, and I think we're like 6 or 7 minutes in, and I'm finally getting to it. They are, and I started making the point, and then I got off on a tangent. That's kind of my thing, but they are the biggest threat to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC South. That defense will get after Tom Brady. So far, Tom Brady has faced zero resistance from the Cowboys last week and the Falcons this week. Zero resistance, zero pressure. He's been able to pick apart those secondaries at will. Very little resistance. Panthers will get at him. They have decent linebackers, pretty good secondary. They don't score points, and if Sam Darnold can continue to not turn the ball over, I'm not saying that they'll definitely win the South, but they're going to give Tampa Bay a run for their money, and I do believe that these two teams, they play twice, they will split the season series. The Bucs are not going to they're not going to go 2-0 against the Panthers. It's not going to happen. I cannot see it happening. They're going to split. I imagine both teams will probably win at home, but they're going to be the biggest threat because I think the Panthers, I think I could comfortably pencil them in for at least 10 wins, so that'll make them 10-7, but I think this could be an 11-12 win team on the back of their defense, and the fact that Sam Darnold, if he can continue to not turn the ball over, which again, I think a lot of the turnover issues in New York were because of everything that I've mentioned up to this point, and I think what he has in Carolina is just way better, and I think Joe Brady, as the season goes along, I think Sam Darnold is not only just going to manage the game, but I think he's going to start taking games over because Joe Brady, very good, designing plays, and Sam Darnold, despite what you may think from his 3 years in that dumpster fire in New York, he is super, super talented. He has he has top-notch physical traits. And now he just needed the right organization and the right group of guys around him and the right coaches to help that out, to nurture that, and I think he has it, and I think we're going to see that just grow and grow and grow as the season goes on. Now, I do still believe the way Brady's playing, and granted, they have played two easier opponents, the Cowboys. Again, defense isn't great, and the Falcons are terrible. They are terrible. They made Jalen Hurts last week look like an absolute superstar, and this week Jalen Hurts did not look good at all. The Falcons are awful. The Saints looked really good last week, looked very, very bad this week. I don't think they're that good of a team. The Bucs are good, obviously defending Super Bowl champs, and I think the Carolina Panthers are good. I think biggest threat, gonna split, Sam Darnold. Every time. I think Sam Darnold could potentially, probably, could win comeback player of the year. And I think, especially if they get into the playoffs, wild card, or if they somehow beat the Bucs and win the division, I think the Carolina Panthers could be a problem, not only for the Buccaneers, but for the NFC. I think they could be that sneaky team that kind of makes a run, that goes farther than people think. Because I could promise you that people are not thinking that the Carolina Panthers are very good right now. They're not giving them the respect that I do believe they deserve, because I think now, the way they beat the Saints today, I think people think that what the Saints did to Green Bay last week was a fluke. I don't believe so. I just don't think the Green Bay Packers are that good this year as a Packers fan. I just think, I don't think their defense is great. I think the issues that Aaron Rodgers is mad about are now kind of really showing themselves, the lack of offensive weapons and the stuff that I've been saying, that they haven't gotten anything to help stop the run. Evidence as the Saints ran the ball really well last week against the Packers. Could not run the ball at all this week against the Panthers. This is still a league where you need to have a good defense to win a championship. The Carolina Panthers seem to have that. And I think how far they go is how well Sam Darnold and Joe Brady can kind of merge, and how much advancement Sam Darnold can have in this offense by year's end. You know, I could come back after week 18 and Sam Darnold might be just taking games over, and I might come here, sit in this table, sit in my car, and say that the Carolina Panthers are going to make a run to the Super Bowl. Or maybe, just maybe, I'm wrong what I'm saying right now about Sam Darnold, and he can actually revert back to the guy he was in New York. I don't think that's going to be the case, but that is a possibility. And maybe I'm coming here week 18 or week 17 saying, all right, guys, I was wrong about Sam Darnold. I'm finally off of him because he has all the talent around him, and he has a good organization around him, and he still stinks. So I think the Panthers are going to be good, but I could be wrong. That's my thing. Let me know if you're a Bucs fan, if you're afraid of the Carolina Panthers, and I want my Panthers fans to stand up and let me know how you're feeling about it. Are you overreacting? I made a video about the Cardinals last week. Some of the fans told me I was overreacting. Am I overreacting to the Panthers? What I think about them? What I think about Sam Darnold? I'd love to hear the New York Jets fans, if there are any of them watching this, about how they feel about Sam Darnold in Carolina, and if what you saw from Zach Wilson maybe leads you to believe that, hey, it's just the Jets organization and not actually the players around. Now, granted, I'm not as high on Zach Wilson as other people are. I was way higher on Sam Darnold than I am on Zach Wilson, but again, organization blows. Really tough to succeed, and I think Sam Darnold through 2 weeks is proof of that. I'm ranting now. End of this video. Subscribe, please. Like the video. That helps. And I will see you in the next one. Probably I'll come back to record a video after the Chiefs and Ravens, which is currently at halftime. See ya.